Every time you break a promise, there is a good chance that you're losing a customer. So we look at OMS product like a platform that needs to be designed or redesigned at every implementation. We don't intend to do sales meetings. We intend to do discovery meetings.
Yeah.
One size doesn't fit all. We have told customer you are not ready for an OMS.
Welcome back. My guest again is Bala Subramanian, founder and CEO of GSOT, with more than 25 years of order management experience across more than 50 implementations in 15 countries. If you missed the last episode, go back and listen. If you didn't, you know exactly why he's here again. Bala, good to have you back.
Thank you, Charlotte.
I'm actually really excited about this latest development because you set up GSOT 16 years ago and have been implementing other people's order management technology. But now what you've done is you've bundled up all of that experience of more than 50 global enterprise level implementations, all of that global market knowledge into a product that you've developed, which I'm well, not just you, but your team. So what gap are you filling?
If you look at our customer profile, right, those are like large retailers, and it's a large investment. It's significantly medium to long time scale, and a bigger team, like enterprise level team, has to get involved in getting that right. So does that mean a small scale retailer don't need this? They do, I think, and that gap was always there.
So they couldn't compete.
They couldn't compete. So when there is a small scale store and a large retail store, the customer's expectations are different. But when it comes to online order processing and the experience, they have the same expectation, whether it's small or medium or large.
Because the size of the retailer means nothing to the consumer online.
Correct. So this was always like at the back of our mind, like, so we should, how do we address this gap? That's one thing. And the second thing was like overall in GSOT, if I calculate the combined experience, we have like 400 man years of experience. And we have made a lot of mistakes and learned a lot over the last 16 years. And GSOT is not a general company that also does OMS. It's a company that only does OMS. And we have an obligation to give back all our learnings. We are not just creating another technology product or platform, right? And there are better people to do that than us. But where we are unique from a GSOT perspective is our experience. So we want to put all that experience together and make a very simple, clear, practical OMS and use all our experience in terms of to expedite the implementation, simplify the implementation by automating the integrations and by not asking the customer what you want, by telling them this is what I think you want, and then use that as a starting point and just do the fit gap. So what we are trying to do is bridge that gap and then create that, like you said, a level playing field between the small to medium retailers and the large retailers so that they have the luxury of enterprise grade order management in an accessible and affordable way.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what we are going for. And like you, we are also excited about it. And I'm pretty sure this will work out because when we started GSOT 16 years back, right, it was so from a middle class family. That's not something I never imagined, becoming an entrepreneur or a businessman or anything like that. But what has led to this point is having that strong point of view, saying that, hey guys, you don't have to do this with so much noise and so many people, right? So when you keep adding people to a OMS project, a law of diminishing returns kicks in, and then it becomes counterproductive. And when I said it, that people were not hearing it, right? And then at one point, I thought we should show how this should be done, right? And now we have reached a point on the OMS product level. Okay, so we need to do a simple, affordable order management, but without compromising on the quality in an affordable way. And I think there is a way to do that. And that's what we're trying as we speak.
If you think about the problems that it's solving? Because, in one of the previous episodes, we were talking about the complexity of order management and the things that you have to consider. So having something that's built from the ground up to accommodate those decisions that has to be made, is that the sort of design thinking behind it?
So say from a who needs this kind of OMS is the tipping point is always the operational complexity.
Yeah.
Right. Because when you scale your business, when the retailers scale their business, they add more channels, they add more stores, they add marketplaces, right? And their simpler order management will not scale to the speed of the business. And every time you break a promise, there is a good chance that you're losing a customer, right? And that's where I think they need an enterprise-grade order management that can solve the promising problem by taking all those operational realistic parameters into the system, right? Make that configurable to the business so that when you make a promise, it's meaningful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Promises will break because a lot of things are a moving target in a retail supply chain environment, right? And then how well you're going to react to that. So whatever problems we solve for the large scale retailers, we intend to solve it for the small to medium size retailers, but with 1/3 of the time, we are saying 4 to 8 weeks. The reason we are saying that is we need to keep it prescriptive and affordable, and then but give the similar quality for them
to be able to react and respond as things will naturally always change.
Correct.
Yeah. And I guess some of the problems it solves are around everything that goes on in the back end in terms of things being routed to the wrong place or places going offline unexpectedly, so that, like you say, the promise is broken to the customer.
Correct. So the cancellation rates. So, and then the fulfillment delays, right? And payment failures. So all these are the symptoms. So where you feel that you need a enterprise grade order management.
So let's talk through some examples of what that enterprise grade order management looks like. What is it giving them that they don't already have?
See, it gives them more control, and it also gives them a end-to-end visibility.
That's a big one.
Yeah. It also gives them the business best practices that we have acquired over years. So we have put that in the solution for them, right? And it also gives them road-tested integration patterns. And so technically, integrations are not very fragile. So it's going to be robust enough for them not to worry about it. The important thing is, we are keeping it prescriptive. So we would like to challenge the customer when they say, I want to do things differently. Then, so it could be a very subjective, unique thing that you're doing, in which case we'll be more than happy to do something about it. But if not, there is a good chance that you are doing something wrong.
Yeah, something inefficient.
Exactly.
And ineffective.
So because this is built based on 50 plus implementation best practices, and so they get our experience in this solution.
And I guess it gives them the ability to make the right decisions when things go wrong or when things change. So if a node goes offline, for example, and the system's got to make a decision about how an order gets fulfilled or rerouted. It's all of those sorts of things.
Absolutely.
And that's a combination of that best practice, but also the integrations that you talked about, where systems can talk to each other quickly and efficiently in order to respond to those changes.
Yeah.
And I guess as well, it's about doing other best practices, like around inventory counts and things like that. So it's not based on a static stock take or stock uptake, if you like, but it can manage it dynamically based on what's happening within the application itself.
So from an inventory perspective, like I mentioned before, right? So WMS will do the heavy lifting in terms of counting and stuff. But from an OMS perspective, the way we look at it is what can be sold to the customer. It could be the current stock that's on hand in the WMS system, or it could be the future stock that's on its way, or it could be a stock that can be promised based on the SLA with the supplier.
Yeah.
Right? Because OMOs don't care. We can just promise if the business is confident enough to procure that item in 10 days, we can say, yeah, it's available in 10 days for you. However, in reality, what will happen is it will be planned and a purchase order will be placed, and then the stuff will come in within 10 days. But from an OMS perspective, we give that flexibility to the business, saying that you can promise the stock that you have, the stock that's on the way, or stock you don't have as well.
Yeah, but you can acquire.
Exactly.
That's a huge competitive advantage to smaller retailers, isn't it? Because usually they're so reliant on what stock they physically have.
That's right, yeah. When you have franchise model on the stores, then there is a different challenge, because franchise stores, they may not be able to support a lot of click and collect. And since they own a part of the business, it's not like your local store. So the rules have to be different, right? And you need a sophisticated order management to manage that, right? You cannot manage that with a simple order management. So the challenges, like I said, are very similar to a large and a small scale retailer.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the gap we are trying to fill, which is to create that enterprise grade order management.
But in a way that's easy to configure.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I guess the simple order management tools that you refer to are more about everything's defined and fixed, and you will work in this way. And then you've got, as you say, the other end, which is enterprise grade, which is it can work however you want it to. Whereas what you've developed is a way to combine the best of both, which is easy to configure, flexibility and reactivity.
We are saying we'll host it and manage it for you, right? And in our point of view, that OMS software and the product, it's just one small part of the equation.
Yeah.
Because what we are bringing to the table is an overall solution for the customer, which is our experience into it. And like I said in the previous podcast, make sure they have the right roadmap, right architecture, may have the right business decisions that backs the OMS up, because one size doesn't fit all from an OMS perspective. And if I do one implementation, I can't just go and repeat that in another place.
Yeah.
See, that's one of the reasons I'm still fumbling in a workshop,
Why you still love
after
it?
25 years, because it's very subjective. Yeah. So we look at OMS product like a platform that needs to be designed or redesigned at every implementation.
So all of those elements that we've talked about before are just as important, right, even though it's simpler from a technical point of view, but still knowing what your operational constraints and requirements are, getting people aligned across from different parts of the business, because even though they're a mid-sized retailer, they've still got a lot of complexity in there because they've grown organically.
So the way we look at this launch is we are launching a hosted, managed order management solution for the customer.
Nice. So you can do the best of both. You can guide them through those other criteria that aren't about the technology, but then when it comes to the tech bit, that's simpler and more straightforward.
And we don't intend to do sales meetings. We intend to do discovery meetings. And we have done that as GSOT while we are implementing OMS. We do discovery, and then we have told customer, you are not ready for an OMS. Probably you need to replace your ERP first, and let's talk after a couple of years. And that's a level of honesty we will try to maintain here as well, because like I said, this is a platform that's meant for a certain profile of retailers, and we'll do the discovery, and then it'll become obvious at the end of the discovery.
So you're not going to try and fit a square peg into a round hole.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I love that. You mentioned that you're offering it as a managed service platform, I think is what you said. So talk to us about what the advantages are there in terms of the infrastructure, because I know sometimes that's a blocker moving from a simple order management to enterprise grade. So just talk to us about how that makes the mid-sized retailer's life a bit easier.
So we are planning to host this as a multi-tenant order management solution. and we'll be hosting it in AWS. And all the infrastructure and everything will be managed by AWS for GSOT, not for the customer, and we will manage it for the customer. So it's transparent to the customer, and so they don't have to worry about infrastructure or anything like that.
And it must make the implementation faster, I assume.
Absolutely. And so, like I said, we are aiming to do it in 4 to 8 weeks,
rather than 9 to 12 months.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So for a mid-sized retailer who's perhaps some of what we've talked about is ringing some bells, and they're seeing themselves here, what are the signs that they're ready to take that step from a simple OMS to something more enterprise ready? And let's say they were getting started with GSOT, what would that look like?
So there are many signs, say for example, if a retailer is adding a new store into their ecosystem, and if that becomes a project for exposing that store stock to the website or whatever, or for example they are adding a new marketplace and that becomes an order management type project for them. So that's one sign, because it shouldn't be. It should be a plug and play, and the OMS should have been scalable to onboard this rather than doing it as a implementation work.
Right. So it's a sign that their old one is not fit for purpose really anymore. Yeah.
Correct. It's not scaling to the expansion of the business. That's one thing. From an operational perspective, if your cancellation rates are going high, right? Because every retailer is surfacing the inventory at the website, right? So if the inventory is correct, why are these things getting cancelled?
Yeah.
So cancellation can happen because of shortage, or sometimes it can happen because of delays also. So when these things are happening and it becomes unexplainable, right? And when the return process is not smooth, and if the returns rates are very high, so these are some of the symptoms that tells you that you don't have a proper order management, and you need to invest in your order management solution.
Yeah, because it's putting that process pressure on it.
Correct. Or if you're making a vague promise saying 3 to 5 days, why? Because all the others are making a precise promise. So what's missing here, right?
Yeah, what's causing that gap? So who's going to be feeling the pain in a mid-sized retailer? Who's going to be feeling those symptoms?
Call center, for sure, because they'll be chasing the orders, and it'll be a significant pain for call center team. And supply chain, when things are wrong, there's a lot of pressure on them.
And finance, I guess, will be seeing the refunds increasing,
and the digital team as well. There'll be a overall impact, but a lot of impact will be on the finance team and the call center team also. Yeah.
So we've covered a lot in this episode. We've talked a lot about order management maturity and the 3 different stages that a retailer can be at in terms of their order management progress. So for anyone listening who wants to learn more, or find the guide, the Emerging Markets OMS guide, or even start a conversation, how can they get in touch?
So they can connect with me directly in LinkedIn, or they can send an email out to sales@gsot.com.
So that all comes to you, reaches you the same way.
Yeah.
And there's the Emerging Markets OMS guide.
Yeah, that's available in our website, so they can download it, and any questions, they can reach out to us directly.
And I know you're always really up for a chat
Absolutely.
around solving a complex challenge, because that's where the fun is, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Excellent. Thank you, Bala. And in our next episode, we're going to be hearing more from Bala on the philosophy behind all of this, the idea of the promise-keeping architect, how he thinks about that, how he thinks about the future of order management, and what advice he would give to any retailer looking to make the jump. So thank you, Bala, as always.
Thank you.